hit you up. Just pin this comment, and then I'm gonna call you. All right, let me hit you up right now. What's up, Dave? What's up, Corey? I see y'all. What's up? What's up? Appreciate y'all hopping on this live. Dave, my man. What's up with you, Courtney? Hey, I appreciate you hopping on, man.
It's all good, brother. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful, man. Wonderful. Been busy, staying busy.
I hear you.
Staying.
Yes, sir.
So what's up?
Nothing much, man. We just about to chop it up real quick for a good 30, 45 minutes. Get some game from you. That's cool with you.
The game is to be sold, not told.
I hear you. I hear you. Got to monetize your story. Not gonna ask too much, but just a little bit. Starting off, man,
Man,
you accomplished. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm listening.
to be honest with you, ask anything, really.
Okay, I got you. Will do, man. So starting off, Courtney, man, you accomplished so much in your life. I know you probably got more things that you probably want to get to. I know with your journey, you originally started off as a barber. What made you get into being a barber?
I think barbering for me is just something that kind of came natural. Around 14 or 15 in high school at MD Collins, and my first customer or client or guinea pig was my best friend,
Wow.
Jeff Lockhart, and he let me cut his hair, and I just ran the clippers over his head. But after a while, I was like trying to figure out how to do it, and ultimately, that was never my plan, to be a barber. I saw it as a source of income, even though I think minimum wage at that time was about $3 or $3.15, and $4.50 an hour, and that's where I kind of learned marketing and promotion, self-marketing and self-promotions of myself. So it's interesting that you asked me that. I didn't, and that was around 86, 87. And around 87, crack cocaine really hit Atlanta. Well, I say College Park. I don't know what was going on in Atlanta. And there was such an allure to selling crack. And a lot of kids who went to school with me were part of the first generation of crack sellers in the area or in Atlanta. And I was, biding my time between wanting to try to sell crack and not having time because I might have had too many customers in my garage and needed to cut their hair. So 1988 came and graduation time, and as soon as we graduated, like a couple of my buddies weren't able to walk for graduation because they had got locked up or because it was the first time crack cocaine, and niggas was selling dope. So when they started going to prison, it kind of solidified this is what I need to be a barber.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to prison, not for no money. And I'm making money.
Yeah.
I'm making money cutting hair, and I'm not at risk of going to the penitentiary. I'm not at risk of getting killed. So I decided once my buddy got raided on Godby Road, and I remember pulling up into the apartment complex, Bradford Square, and the DEA had just raided their apartment, and I just rolled straight on through and left there and ran into a partner of mine at the barbershop on Flat Shoals in Old National. I was like, man, what do I got to do to get a job up here? Wow. He was like, man, just go to school, man. You should go to this particular school. And that next week I was in school.
It wasn't fun.
And yeah, that was simple math.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know what I mean?
Yeah, so for all the young dudes out there, they probably have a similar story of what you went through that's going on right now. What advice do you have for my age group when it comes to, trying to make it out the streets and actually focus on their dreams?
How old are you?
23.
Um, it's really, again, I'm gonna use the term simple math. It's really simple mathematics because what was that, 88? That's almost a little bit over 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where even the police were catching up with how drug trafficking was going at the time. So I can say it was easier. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, the way I was raised, I never put value on money. I never put value on material things just based on the way that I was raised.
Yeah.
So that helped my decision making. That was the foundation for me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I wasn't in dire straits. I wasn't poor. I was in a middle class family. My mother worked for the state.
Yeah.
So, and I knew I was a talent. I had talent. And my sister was a straight A student and graduating from here and there with honors and full scholarships. So it just would have looked really stupid for me to turn out to be the ex-convict. And
Mm-hmm.
nothing against people who did get caught up into that lifestyle and who did get caught. I understand that. You know what I mean? Nothing against it. Some of my closest friends have done time. I'm just saying, for me, I made a decision. I couldn't ride the fence on it at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I made a decision. One of my best friends got murdered. A few of them went to prison, boot camp and shit. So I was just like, that didn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
Like, I knew, who my mother was, so I knew
Yes,
her
sir. Yeah.
prayers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her prayers.
God
It's
bless you.
just no. I was a little bit better than that, and more mature in the way I was thinking. I didn't need that money to sustain my lifestyle because I was the shit when it came to barbering. So I never, if I could
Yeah.
plug up somewhere, I'm gonna make some money. So
I love it. So you make the transition of becoming a barber. I already know right now, like 2020, we got social media, so like it's super easy to network, hit people up. How are you able to network back then? Like, what was that experience like for you?
what there really was no networking per se. It just so happened. This is how God works. It just so happened that my barbering skills are what got me into the music business. Just being having went to high school with Kevin Wells, the OG, one of the founding fathers of what now is the Atlanta music scene. Having went to school with Dallas Austin, um, having classes with him, not understanding like why he was different. I knew he was different, but didn't understand why. I had no idea he was a musician. And, growing up around JD and skating ring with JD and dance contest and all that type of shit. So, and Divine Stevens, who also went to Lakeshore High School in the community. And it was just, and I used to dance and all that shit. So the Clippers, the ability to be one of the best of all time barbers on the South Side, I was blessed to be asked to come to Dallas's studio on Northside Drive. I think Dallas might have been 20 or 21 with at the time a $5 million recording studio, and I was asked to come there to provide my service, and it just took off from there. Like, and being in that environment was inspirational and motivational because I was leaving flat shows in Old National, dealing with street shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, being the barber also means that you're kind of the connect.
Yeah, that's real.
So I
Everybody
was
know
the
you.
connect between. Our barbershop was the meeting point for plenty of transactions other than haircuts.
I feel you.
And once people started finding out that I was the quote unquote barber of the stars at that time, a lot of people would come to the barbershop to audition or drop off their demo packages at that time. And my relationship with Kevin Wells, my relationship with Dallas Austin, my relationship that was formed with two new producers that had moved down here sleeping in the car, these two producers, Tim and Bob, is what transitioned me into being what I'll call a talent scout and finding talent.
That's what's
So
up.
that was my transition. But again, that's only through God's grace, because it wasn't my plan.
Mm.
And the more I went to the studio to cut hair and was in that environment, the less attractive the streets were. And what I mean the streets, the barbershop still is the streets, period.
Mm.
So it just became less and less attractive because I was getting paid so much, 20 times more to cut, you know, for a photo shoot than I would probably make in 2 or 3 days at the shop.
Wow. Wow. Man, you ended up cutting people like Puffy, Will Smith. What were those interactions like? And then what game did you gain from them in those conversations?
What I realized immediately with being in the studio and just being a conversationalist, that I had the unique opportunity to have conversations. And mind you, Puff wasn't Puff. You know what I mean? He had just got fired from Uptown.
Okay.
He was looking for a home.
Yeah.
Will Smith was Will Smith.
Yeah.
Will Smith was Will Smith. So that kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of fucked me up. Like, damn, this Will Smith. But
Yeah.
he was so cool that it's really inspiring, really more so. But having that time, 30, 40 minutes, sometimes I stretch a haircut out for 45 minutes just to be able to have conversations and get to know them, have a rapport with my clients. And I always just tried to do my best to exhibit professionalism, also being on time, also being articulate, also being clean, also just being helpful. I was always a big guy, so sometimes I would, you know, go out and do security, play, whatever, what have you. So it was just the opportunity to see and absorb all this new information, sit in the studio and listen to Dallas create music and write songs and go to rehearsals and see hours and hours of ABC rehearsing for shows and bands rehearsing. It was just ground zero for artist development. And it was like out with the old, in with the new. Out with the old, in with the new. And I just began to develop an ear, develop an eye. But I didn't have the information in regards to the business of music.
Okay. Break that down if you
Yeah.
can. Because I heard in a previous interview, you know, how you broke down how you were pretty much that middleman that helped people network. So how do you think people could monetize that skill set? Because that is like a very valuable skill set.
The word monetize, that's the word.
Yeah.
You just have to know your value. You have to understand that what you're doing is necessary and needed. And the way that you do it and the way that you carry yourself, one thing that I always paid attention to, because I thought being able to be in the music business was a blessing based on where I was coming from.
Right.
My best friend, Dwayne Oliver, killed. Alan Chaney, murdered. Kenny Mack from Boston, murdered. Andre Turner, murdered. And it goes on and on and on and on. Such and such going to prison, such and such going to prison. So to be able to be in this atmosphere and not need my firearm, not even need my way of thinking.
Yeah.
Was incredibly fun to me. But at the same time, I was paying attention to who didn't really respect it. Like respect the opportunity to be in a room.
Got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who really was playing with it from the early on. So I didn't know that they were playing with it. I just didn't seem like, damn, that's they get down. They do that. No, I don't think I'll do that. You know what I mean? And seeing a lot of people come and a lot of people go in regards to being able to sustain in this business. So I always looked at this as a blessing because it was a way out. It was a whole nother world, whole nother, just mind-blowing at that time.
Right. I got you. And see, right now, man, you've been in 20 plus years. How did you sustain such a long career? Because, I mean, some people get killed. Some people are bad with their finances. So how did you stay and make it through this long?
My grandfather, Joseph Courtney Sills Sr., always taught me to live below your means.
That's real.
My mother always taught me that all that glitters is not gold. I've seen a lot of people blow a lot of money just on the want and need to impress niggas. Wow. And that never really has been my thing. I never, because I've seen so many people die behind that. Like ultimately lose their lives because of jealousy and envy. Wow. I'd rather a nigga not know what I got.
Yeah. You want to be a target. Yeah.
As long as, you know, whoever I was dating at the time and, you know what I mean? Not even them.
Yeah.
Not even a woman could really know what I was holding or what I had, period, because it wasn't for them. One note, see, at the time we used to say flexing. I just wasn't into the flexing. Like even my little flexes, I kind of thought about, you know, I just was never that type of nigga and it was never important to me. And you never could impress me with your stuff.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't impressed.
I feel
Still not impressed.
That's real. Man, I see the plaques in the background, a lot of accomplishments. One of the groups that you were very integral in was, of course, 112. How did that whole experience start with the group, everything?
Wingo from Jagged Edge. He was the when Tim and Bob were working on Boyz II Men's second album. Boyz II Men had just came off of selling 5 million albums on their first record. Now, not to say it stopped there, it continued to grow.
Yeah.
And they were working on the second album with Dallas Austin, and Boyz II Men were essentially living here in Atlanta. I was their barber, and Tim and Bob's barber, and Boyz II Men's barber, and they was just like, "Man, we need our own group." At the time, they used to call me Huggy Bear. And now you don't want to hear the story behind that, but they said, "We need a group, man. Find us a group." And immediately, I connected with Wingo, who lived in the back of Pine Tree. He was quite a few years younger than me, and we went on a mission to basically find a group that he could be in and put a group together. And he ended up telling me about this talent show at Westlake High School. Okay. And that's where, and telling me about this group. And that's where I met the group Forte at Westlake High School. I don't remember the year. It might have been 93. Got
you. And from that group, what stood out to you to be like, hey, you know, I want to work with him? And,
well, the crazy shit is that I missed their performance.
Okay.
I was kind of at the shop a little bit late, waiting on the homies, LA and the homie Jabba. And by the time we got there, they had already performed. So I got their phone numbers and called them and set up a meeting to go hear them sing. And I went to one of their, I think Mike's grandmother's house. And Duran just got on Mike's grandmother's piano and started playing. And when they started singing, it was just like, mind you, I had taken several groups and artists to Dallas's studio in hopes that they would get discovered or
it was all no's.
get out of here, Bear, stick to barbering. And so I said, let me try this one. And I brought them up to the studio and they they sang for Tim and Bob. Tim and Bob were blown away. At the time, I had no idea about Commission or John P. Key or Daryl Coley or any of that. I knew some of their songs, but I didn't know that some young dudes from Cleveland Avenue would be that much into gospel music because and I only say that because the harmonies, the chords that they used were just so gospel feeling. But they were singing Silk. They were singing maybe a little Boyz II Men, but a lot of gospel records they were singing. And Wingo's on right now. Wingo Dollar. And ultimately, the crazy shit is Wingo is the one who introduced me to all the gospel shit. So by the time he introduced me to 112, I understood, like, but when we got with Tim and Bob, who comes from the church, musicians, it was automatic. It was like, oh yeah, this is it. But Dallas was like,
yeah.
I don't know, I don't love it. Kevin Wells loved it, and from there we just started developing the group and working. Uh-oh, we got Killer Mike on.
Shout out to Killer Mike, man.
Yeah, my brother. Happy belated birthday again. I know you still going up, Killer. But yeah, so that, again, none of this shit was planned. None of this shit was my dream. None of this shit was something I was always wanted to do in my life. It just, you plant a seed, and then it starts to grow. And certain shit happens in your life, and either you get distracted from things that you think are important to do some bullshit. And a lot of times I just missed death or missed prison by the hairs on my chin. Like, once I had the opportunity to do business with Puff and move to New York and all that shit, it was just no turning back. It's no turning back for me.
I feel that. How important is patience, man? Because you were patient. I mean, y'all got turned out by Dallas. Y'all go to New York, work with Puff. Then I already know, like, working on albums sometimes that can take like months to even years. So how important is it to be patient and just pretty much, trust the process overall?
Hey, man. It's, again, barbering. For me, I always had an opportunity to make money because if I moved to New York, I took my clippers with me. Not that I was licensed to barber in New York, but they always had to have a haircut. And sometimes, hell, a Puff would call and say, I need you to come to the office and cut my hair. And then I still had homies in the street who was getting street money, who wouldn't mind, kicking me down a little something. By the way, we do have some jealous brothers on the line. We got some comments about this shit here. You know what I mean? It's nothing I can do about that, baby boy. I just shampooed my shit before I got on here.
Moisturized.
Yeah, a little moisturized. What's up, Mr. White? So, yeah, like I just, by the time we moved to New York after getting all advanced, we was all broke.
Wow.
We was broke. Honestly, we were probably living off of, we were living off our per diem. which was at the time $35 a day, $245 a week, in the heart of Manhattan.
Which is super expensive, yeah.
Yeah, we walked to the studio, and it took about a year to record our first album.
Wow.
Yeah. And sometimes I would I would take Greyhound from New York back to Atlanta just to get a break, just to get a break. Just me and 4 young dudes from Cleveland Avenue living on 56 and Broadway. It was tough. But I have to say that homies like Biggie, her homegirl Faith, Big Von Zip, rest in peace, the infamous gangster, Haitian Jack, them niggas would pop up and feed us and make sure that we ate. You know what I mean? Make sure that we ate. Yeah, for sure. So I didn't get a chance to tell Zip thank you before he passed away. I hadn't seen him in years when he passed away, and you'll have to Google Zip, Von Zip. But I always wanted to tell him thank you for buying us them Westway turkey burgers. Yeah.
Mike said, nigga, you came home to see Tina.
This is true. This is true.
That's what's up. Overall, in New York, how was that experience? Because I hear all the time that people say that it's actually harder to try to make it in New York. So what was that difference being like in a different city of? How was that?
New York is where I grew up.
Okay.
Well, moving to New York and being responsible for 4 young men at the same time, being totally responsible for 4 young men who three of them probably had never even left the state, had never been on airplanes before. It was a huge responsibility, and it grew me up, driving since I was 16, and now having to catch cabs or having to walk to the store, walk to the corner store, and walk in the rain, walk in the snow. We were there for the blizzard in 95, 96. It was like 52 inches of snow. Like it grew me up, and the tenacity of New Yorkers, like the fight, the grit from New Yorkers, it really put a battery on my back, because after 3-4 months, we had become accustomed to, how to survive in New York City. They say if you can survive New York, you can survive anywhere, and I believe that. But what the benefit was, we were signed to Bad Boy, and at the time, Bad Boy was on fire. Craig Mack was on fire. Yeah. Biggie was on fire. Total was on fire. Faith was coming. She was about to be on fire. So we was on the Bad Boy train. We really benefited from being signed to Bad Boy. But as soon as we opened our mouths, motherfuckers were like, y'all not from New York. You're not from Bad Boy. Like, I remember the what's the video with Biggie, One More Chance remix video, and Heavy D was standing on the steps, and everybody was trying to get into the house party, and all the different female artists was singing the Biggie, One More Chance. All the motherfuckers, we walk up, took cabs to the motherfucker. We walk up, like, yeah, we get to the door, like, yeah, we Puff's New Group. We didn't even have a name yet. We weren't even 112 yet. So we could just say we Puff's New Group. Man, them motherfuckers looked at us and said, man, please get out of here. You ain't no Puff's New Group. We couldn't even get in. We couldn't get in the video shoot. But it was heartbreaking. Like, it was tough being the only Atlanta niggas in New York City.
Wow.
And representing Atlanta.
Back then.
In a time where wasn't no Atlanta on no motherfucking radio in Atlanta. Wasn't no rappers from Atlanta on the radio.
Yeah.
Wasn't none of that. Wasn't happening. So we really had to represent the South Side like fiercely, fiercely.
I love that,
You
man.
know, like,
Yeah,
yeah, like we had to really push the line.
that's crazy. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
even right now in Atlanta, of course, it's like number one when it comes to music, entertainment. But y'all came through in an era where it wasn't.
Is it? Is Atlanta number one?
How do you feel about it? Because I'll say this, and I know that you said this before, which I was going to transition to, is that I feel like we have the talent, but when it comes to, and you said this before, which is facts, when it comes to like executives, the record labels, all that stuff, it's really the people in New York or LA that's like calling all the shots. So how do we really take ownership overall? How do we start to do that?
Um, I ain't gonna answer that.
Okay, you gonna save it for the book?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that one for the book.
Okay.
I mean, we have certain individuals now, like Killer Mike, who's accomplished so much not being signed to a major label.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's leverage, that's power.
Right.
And we're talking about an artist that's been rapping, got a Grammy in 2004, 2003 or 4. He got a Grammy.
Crazy.
He's been still to this date like impactful in the culture.
Yeah.
It's about information and having the intelligence and being the responsible person to be trusted with, for lack of a better word, be trusted with them white folks' money.
Mm. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Run the jewels. Run the jewels. 17-year vet. Okay, Mike.
That's a blessing.
Never knew you could count. But yeah, just it's see, we have some people in our city, Killer Mike being one, Deshaun Shelton, Day, Pat Afako, Paul Williams. It's a lot of young brothers that are in Atlanta, from the South Side, really, today, who are super intelligent, super dope at marketing, promotion, super incredible young people who I see now are going to be the next generation of executives that brings the culture back. It seems to me that we've lost our culture. Like back in the 90s, early 2000s, at least if you've seen a nigga from Atlanta in any part of the world, you'd be like, oh, he from Atlanta. But now we look just like New York. We look just like LA. We dress just like, dress like the mannequin. Put all that old tight ass shit on just like the mannequin. So we gotta get the culture back. We gotta find our culture again. You know what I mean? Who are we?
That's real.
Who are we?
That's real. I love that. Somebody in the comments, my man Dr. Dapper, interviewed him like 2 weeks ago. He has a luxury business for men's fashion, and he asked to you, Courtney, how do you feel about celebrities and black celebrities not supporting black-owned businesses? How do you feel about that sometimes? Or do you feel like that there's enough black celebrities who are supporting black-owned brands?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel you.
I'm guilty of being at a point in my life being or subscribing to white folks. I'm guilty of that until I had the opportunity to work with the other side, and I realized that they got the same issues we do, right?
Yeah.
They have the same ignorance that we have, but somewhere in the higher ups, there's a lot more pulling up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I'd love to promote companies, small businesses, that do good business with me. You know what I mean? That do what they say they're gonna do. On time, professional. That just impresses me. Like I like that.
Yeah.
I like to be impressed by my people.
That's real.
And I've learned from my buddy Killer to not to diss, but to try to share perspective with people, so maybe that they can, why change my name to Higher Level on IG, raise their bar or raise their standards. You know what I mean? Because some people are okay with being okay.
That's
In a
real.
place where you really have to go above and beyond in the service that you provide. And I think people walking around with their dicks on their shoulders a lot of times and think that it's just enough to say, I own this.
Right.
And they don't really understand, like, being the owner of something means you have to have a business savvy. You have to have the courteousness, the professionalism, the things that make people want to come back.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the way you treat people. We provide a service. Artists, I say this to artists all the time. You shit on your fans if you want to. They'll find somebody else to be a fan of.
It's facts.
If you give your fans this shitty, pissy little show that you never even rehearsed for, that they paid $30 to come to, or $50 or $100 to come to, what makes you think they're gonna come back when they had a shitty service? They wouldn't do that at a restaurant. You go to a restaurant and have a shitty service, they ain't coming back.
Yeah.
They ain't tipping, they ain't doing none of that shit. So you really have to understand the music business is customer service. And with as much shit, and you know what makes you, if you really look at it, if you fly or travel or whatever, every airline, you take a flight on the airline, you're gonna get an email. How did you like our service? If you calling to change your flight, how did you like the person that you talked to? Would you hire that person? Was that person prompt? Did he or she have all the information? It's about the level of customer service. Kanye West broke his bank to make sure that he gives the best concerts, not to be matched with anyone else. Right. He didn't even want to make money off his concerts. He would invest all the profit into his staging, into his props, into his production. The experience.
Yeah.
So, guess what? When Kanye West comes, guess what happens?
You already know. Every single time. His merch.
It sells out. When Run the Jewels comes, guess what? It sells out. Because them motherfuckers ain't playing.
Quality.
And they ain't motherfucking lip syncing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel that. Man, Courtney, also speaking on businesses, you and Killer Mike, what y'all done with Crip-a-Cola is so dope and it's so innovative. How did that idea even start overall? What's the story behind that? Oh, hey, you already marketed.
Hey, man, I had to steal this shirt. It's the genius of Michael Render. And again, we go back to the opportunity to be in the room. You know what I mean? Sometimes, all the time, it's about the opportunity to be in the room. And we've developed a relationship that there's trust and integrity there. Even though he's from the West Side and he's a slime ball, he trusts my South Side dopeness.
You know you got sucks.
He can, hey man, we challenged each other, and he came up with the idea, and we discussed it out in Palm Springs at a exclusive members only racetrack where you could go race your cars, but you had to be a member. And and it was incredible. It was an incredible experience. And when he expressed to me his concern at how white, infamous criminals were glorified and were able to monetize their criminal histories, it was just like, why can't we? Why can't we? It's probably not a white criminal that has not had a movie. Al Capone probably been in more movies than any criminal that had. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why haven't we had the thought or the inclination or the ingenuity to develop companies where you have brands literally making clothes specifically for the urban culture, specifically for gang culture?
Yep. That's
So
right.
now when he said he wanted to make a soda, I was like, this nigga done lost his mind. But I learned a long time ago, if your mind can conceive, you can achieve. And it's just about the thought, which goes back to the environment you're in, which goes back to what you're around, what pops your top to make you be able to say, this is possible. See, seeing Dallas Austin and seeing Divine and seeing JD and seeing Kevin Wells, that made me know this shit is possible. Killer Mike took that shit to a whole nother level and did it the way he wanted to do it. And everybody was like, nah, that shit won't work. Nobody want no damn Crip juice. You're going to get shot and killed drinking Crip juice or blood juice or this, that, or that. And now we can't keep it. We can't keep it.
Wow.
Because they want it. They can't even get it. But if you want some, hit me in my DM. We'll figure out a place where I can drop you off some. You feel me?
I love it.
Small fee. Yeah. So this has been an incredible journey for me since 91, going on road with ABC, and to now, shit, that's almost 30 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and still contributing and still showing my hood, College Park in Atlanta, the love and sharing the information that I feel like they deserve. That's why to be reached out to by you, and despite the fact of who your father and your mother is, and you and I are members of the same church, man, it's an honor to even for you to reach out to me. I just want to thank you for hitting me up, bro.
Hey, I appreciate it, man, just like, giving game, because I think what people don't understand, like your generation, seeing y'all actually give us wisdom is like so needed. So I appreciate that for real overall.
100%.
Yes, sir.
I do have an issue with wasting it. What I think is wasting it, but sometimes you plant seeds and you don't know where they'll take hold or where they'll root. You know what I mean? You don't know who gets what out of it, but man, it's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, big time. Courtney, man, before we go, you've been around so many legendary people, like what we've spoke about earlier. Just overall, from the people from the Puffs, 112s, your cousin Pooh Bear, Killer Mike. What's been the biggest lesson that you've learned over these past 3 decades?
That's I don't know if we have time because it's so much. It's so much that I've learned, but I think, and me and my good friend Kawan Prather had this conversation yesterday at length. And when I think about all of these years of being in this business and how stressful it has been, how incredibly dangerous it has been throughout the entire globe, and I think about how many people literally did not make it, who passed away, who died, who were murdered, who lost their mind, lost everything, and never could get it back rolling. When I think about how many artists are here today and gone tomorrow, and who really shit on the opportunity and the blessing to be in this shoe. And I think about it, and I think about where I am and what I'm doing today. It's a lot. The biggest lesson it has to be probably integrity and a willingness to work.
Mm.
And what I mean by work is, see, when I was brought in the game, you could have been the manager, but you could have been doing road managing job. You could have been the manager, but you could have been doing security too. You could have been writing songs. You could have been promotions. You could have, we did whatever it took.
Yeah.
We weren't stuck on, I'm this, and this is what I do, and da-da-da-da-da. It's many times I was the driver, I was the sound guy, I was the lighting guy, I was security, I was the barber, I did whatever had to be done to make sure that my client was seen in the right light, was heard in the right light, was in the right frame of mind, had on the right clothes, had on the right cologne, had whatever makes my client, in whatever capacity I work with them in, be bigger than life, be protected, be sheltered. Integrity and your ego is your enemy. Those are the biggest things. Have integrity and understand that your ego is your enemy.
That's
The ego
powerful.
is the enemy. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. And that's Diane. That's my mama.
Yeah.
That's my mama's instilling in me for many, 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 many years. And my grandfather, be the man that can represent your name.
Mm.
Your name is my name, grandson.
Yeah.
So know that what you do represents my legacy. And I know I fucked up a few times here and there, but I got my big brother, Josh Spice, the father. I don't know what I would do without him on the line. Everybody go follow the father. The father. Good brother, man. Good. Super, super good brother. You probably need to interview him.
Okay, I will. I'll make sure to reach out. Courtney, man, this was amazing. Last thing, man, before we go, where can everybody keep up with the label? No face, no case. I know you got Crip-a-Cola. With everything that you have going on, how can we keep up with all of your stuff?
Well, follow me, of course, on the Higher Level Bear. I just started a nonprofit as well that I haven't kicked into gear yet, but it's called Bear Strong, BEAR, Strong, NP as in nonprofit. And I plan on doing a lot with my nonprofit to invest back into these children in the community. So you can follow me there. And I'm also on Facebook. None of my shit is private. I'm pretty transparent, and no face, no case. Now, look, when we started No Face, No Case, it was like, oh, man, that mask shit, man. I don't know about that mask. Huh? Now everybody need a mask. No face, no case.
He was ahead of the time.
No face, no case. Go get you a mask, put NFNC on it, and then you change the last C from case to COVID. No face, no corona. That's how we doing it. I need that. Where y'all at? No face, no corona. Put that mask on. Everybody want it. They don't need you can go anywhere with this shit on now. Anywhere. With your mask on.
Hey, this marketing.
Hey, man, no face, no case. Put that mask on. Stay corona free.
That's real.
Stay healthy, man. Please, brother, give your mother and father my love and
I
much
will.
respect. And
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, Courtney,
Let's
for
do
real.
this again. Let's
Okay.
hang out too.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I should post this on YouTube sometime this weekend. I'll have IGTV clips from this posted in like the next 3 or 4 hours. I got you.
All right, y'all go do me a favor too. Go follow All In Films. All
Okay.
In Films. That's my cameraman, also
Most definitely.
known as one of the best cinematographers in the city. And go follow NFNC, the label. No
Love.
Face, No Case, the label. Check out our new compilation that we put out. And we got some other shit going on with our artists, Wooda Realist, and BV Ty, and AC Aaron from the Hood. So let's get it, man. And
Perfect.
go check out that new Run the Jewels. That fucking video is
That's what I've
nuts.
been here. I gotta watch
That video is nuts. I think Killer Mike think he looked better than me, but we know that ain't true. That's why they blocked me from going, because they didn't want me to. They don't want me to be in the video all dancing and shit. But hey, man, Run the Jewels, man, Run the Jewels, and y'all keep supporting and following Pooh Bear at Pooh Bear, who's writing all these amazing records and songs and doing our thing. And what's up, big homie? Yeah, let's get it. Spread love. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Southside way. You already
Yes.
know what it is.
Appreciate you again, Courtney, man. Thank you. And you be
Let's
safe.
get it. And for anybody who want to reach out to me and find out about the fine hair care products that I use to keep my shit like that, don't worry about it. It's called water. It's called water. Put a little water on it. Haters. Wingo. Love you.
Perfect, man. Thank you again, Courtney. You be good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate
Not
you.
bad meaning bad, but bad meaning.
Y'all make sure to follow us, like, comment, and subscribe to our page. Shout out to everybody that joined the conversation. This will be posted on YouTube later this weekend. IG Live of the IGTV clips will be made of this live, and it'll be posted either later today or tomorrow. We appreciate y'all and we love y'all. Once again, my name is Caleb Smith. Y'all be good. Peace.